Brian Pete's college basketball career didn't begin with a host of recruitment letters or scholarship offers. It began with a brief conversation over post-game pizza.
I was eating a piece of pizza because we have pizza afterwards, and Tommy just came up kind of like half chewing a piece of pepperoni pizza and was like, "You want to walk on the rest of the year? Do you want to suit up?" And I was just kind of like, "This is a joke."
Coach Lloyd wasn't joking. The Zags had suffered a couple of untimely injuries in early December. They needed another player, so they turned to someone who had been on their bench for 3 years.
We know his work ethic. We know what kind of teammate he is. We know how much passion he has for this program.
Brian had been a manager for the team since his first day on campus. He had also become a star for Gonzaga's club basketball team.
He's kind of in the last 4 years evolved into a pretty good player, and so we had a pretty good feel for what he could bring basketball-wise.
As soon as they said, "We want you to be a walk-on," Brian said his ears went numb. He forgot his name, he forgot where he was, he forgot where he lived, he forgot what planet he was on.
Eventually, he came back to earth, and less than 48 hours after that conversation over pizza, Brian Pete went from washing the jerseys to wearing one.
I kept looking at my last name. I was like, that can't be right. Like, this is who's like number 20, but definitely kind of sank in once those came in. That was a cool aspect of it for sure, is getting my uniform.
I was just thrilled for him. I could tell he was so excited, so I was whoop-de-doo, and I wished his dad was here to hear this, because he would have loved it.
Kevin Pete was a two-sport athlete in college. He played golf and football at Pomona-Pitzer in California.
He was the one that got me started with sports and everything.
They went to the golf course, they went to the driving range, and they played out front and shot baskets all night.
He had high blood pressure, but none of us really didn't think of it as serious, and kind of one day he just had an aortic valve in his heart kind of failed, essentially a heart attack, and yeah, he passed away November of 2008.
What it did is it opened my eyes to Brian a little more, because Kevin, his dad would take him to sports. I do remember when I took him to one of his first basketball games. I remember going and thinking, well, if he's not that good, just deal with it. I'm not very athletic, so, but I remember thinking, this kid is good. So he was making the shots, has one of the shorter ones on the team. Yeah. So I was always impressed with him.
I know he would have loved the fact that I was involved here, because he was dialed into what the Zags were about, I'm sure more than I was, just being a fan of the game and things like that. He used to always tell me, your thoughts are things, you just play the game, have fun, but don't set limits, don't try to say that this is the most I'll ever do, or this is the most I can do, just keep playing.
And he has kept playing, from team manager and club player to Gonzaga basketball player. Brian is now a college athlete, just like his dad. He may not ever be a star for the Zags, but in Thursday's win over Portland, he delivered the biggest highlight. In the final minutes of the game, Brian scored his first career points.
Here's Pete again, baseline jumper, he's good!
Just saying, the crowd reaction was one thing I didn't really kind of think about beforehand. I know you can't really mimic that or plan for that, so that was a cool moment.
The crowd went wild, but the biggest cheer came from his teammates.
He's been here for 4 years. He's been a manager. He's done everything for those guys. Literally, really helped all those guys. And so when he got out there and made a basket, I think it probably had even a little more meaning than it would for those guys than your normal walk-on.
He's a dual threat. He's one of the most legendary players here. He's a manager and a player at the same time.
Brian overcame a lot of obstacles in life. He had to come over, he didn't have a brother or sister to share that stuff with. So I'm just super proud.
On a team that became famous 2 decades ago for dancing in Cinderella's slipper, a different kind of rags to riches tale has unfolded.
He's in here washing underwear just 2 months ago, and now he's putting on a jersey. I'm really proud of Pete, just to see him out there, getting his minutes, getting his shots up, getting his points. I'm really happy.
Brian Pete didn't have any brothers growing up, but now he has a team full of them. The kind that appreciate the work he does when no one's watching, and the kind that rally around him to celebrate the unforgettable moments when everyone's watching.